is made possible with the continued support of the Revenue Lab Affiliate Network. Hello, friends, and yes, it's that time of year again up here in the Pacific Northwest. Time for it to get dark before 5 p.m. Time for the wind to start blowing through my shots and messing everything up. Time for the relentless rains to return. Sometimes when I travel, people ask me, Jay Todd, they say, Jay, don't you get sick of all the rain that you get up there? And I tell them that, well, in reality, it only rains one time a year up here. It just starts in November and lasts through April. Of course, the weather isn't the only thing that's dark, gloomy, and all wet these days. We also have the collective brain power at the UK Gambling Commission. And they have just announced increased measures to help fight the black market. Geo-blocking. Really? Well, it sounds like someone at the UKGC has finally stumbled upon a blog post from 2007. Geo-blocking? Really? What sort of magical witchcraft is this? I mean, no one has ever figured out a way around geo-blocking. This move is what the Commission calls the third chapter of research into illegal offshore sites, which is kind of crazy if you consider that the head of the UKGC, Andy Rhodes, has said repeatedly that the threat of the black market is overstated. But now, here we are on Chapter 3 of trying to get a handle on it without much success. In fact, the Commission has been playing whack-a-mole with the black market for quite a while, reporting sites in the hundreds only to have more pop up. In fact, they reported about 125 sites to registrars and/or sent cease and desist letters to those sites in the quarter ending in June of this year. However, by the time the next quarter ended in September of this year, that number had grown to over 320. Yes, many sites were removed, over 40 of which were affiliate related. So, I suppose that from the UKGC's perspective, they are making progress. And from an operator perspective, this is just one more challenge, one more cost of doing business. But let's keep this information just between you and me. Don't let the Gambling Commission know. They think they're winning. Welcome back. As we enter the second half of our show, the wind is picking up. I'm starting to feel drops of rain, so we're going to pick up the pace a little bit. We continue into the United Kingdom as the soon-to-be defunct GambleAware charity is trying oh so desperately to stay relevant. So much so that they recently grasped at some low-hanging fruit by calling for a ban on influencer marketing. And I say low-hanging fruit because this is not an original idea. In fact, the thought of banning influencer marketing in gambling has been tossed around the web for quite a while now. So perhaps the folks at GambleAware are just trying to pad their resumes. As I've said before, I do not consider myself an influencer, as this show is a niche inside of a niche, inside of a niche. And more importantly, we do not promote gambling on these videos. But even though the idea is trite, I would not say that I'm opposed to some form of oversight for influencers. Hold off, guys. Especially gambling influencers, just like other forms of marketing. But an outright ban is asinine. And for GambleAware to call for a ban on gambling influencers is just another example of the problem our opponents have. There is no middle ground with them. If they don't like something, it's gone. There is no compromise, there is no discussion, only destruction. So to my friends at GambleAware, I say, good luck with the job hunt, assholes. Lastly, former chief executive of Entain, Mr. Kenny Alexander, probably didn't expect any investigation into his alleged bribery in Turkey years ago. Afterwards, he probably didn't expect to be charged for that alleged crime. And after that, I'll just betcha he never expected a trial date to be set. And yet, here we are. I guess there are just certain things that your ego can't save you from. Mr. Alexander is due before a judge in February of 2028. 2028? Really? Well, I guess the old saying is true. The wheels of justice do turn slowly, but in this case it looks like they had a flat or needed to drop a transmission and do some repairs. No matter. I guess Mr. Alexander needs the time, you know, to hide his money, destroy some evidence, and possibly flee to another country. I don't know, but I think that's only fair. And that brings us to the end of yet another show. I'll be back next week, come rain, wind, sunshine, snow, earthquake, or meteor strike. Well, if it's a meteor strike, I might take a week off. But anything else, I'll be here, God willing. You know, sometimes people ask me, they say, Jay, got an itch on your nose, and you shouldn't be scratching it on camera. But we're near the front of the show, so we can do that again.